And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends, baseball edition. Nick will probably have a couple CFL plays, but just baseball for me today. On this Monday, we will get started showing off the current standings for the show. So this is the current MLB results so far since the beginning of the month here. Me and Ryan both 3-0 in best bets, neck and neck. Nick at 2-0, but he's right there behind. We're all up over 2 units. Really close battle there. Over under. It's going good for me and Dave so far. Tim, leading dog of the day in MLB. Going on to college football. Nick, leading best bet, dog of the day, and over under, has not lost a college football play yet on the show. So doing absolutely phenomenal. And then going on to other sports, and Nick is the only one that's put in a play there, and he won.
Thank you, Red Blacks.
So there is that. But that is the current show standings. We'll always start off the show with the current record. Transparency is super important. Happy Labor Day to you as well, Jason. We are going to get started here. I'll be honest, not a lot of plays for me today. More of a money line parlay day for me as well. But there are some plays that I like. I know Nick has some plays here, but we'll jump into the first game. And that's the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. You can find Boston minus 104 to minus 110. You can find Tampa Bay minus 105 to minus 112. Pretty similar prices around the different books. 7.5 right across the board in this game. Half unit play for me, so a smaller play, but I am taking Boston first 5 money line. Waka 10-1 on the year with a 2.56 ERA. In his last 3 games, he's won them all, going 6 innings in his last 2, 5 innings the game before that. Pitching pretty consistently here. On the other side for Tampa, it's Luis Patino. So I'm assuming a bullpen day after he goes out. Tampa coming off the loss yesterday to kind of snap their winning streak. And I think this is a good spot for Boston first 5. So I'm taking Boston Red Sox first 5. It's tough as a Blue Jays fan rooting for the Red Sox, but I'd be happy if they won the full game as well for the Blue Jays in the standings. But we'll see what happens. But I think they'll be winning after 5 innings. Nick, Red Sox, Rays, what do you think on this one?
I think this line's too short. I think that the Rays should be a little more like a minus 130, minus 140 favorite rather than a pick 'em in this game. This team is at home. They've been playing much better baseball as of late. The Red Sox, I don't trust their bullpen worth of anything, and I don't trust Waka to give me more than maybe 5-6 innings. So that means you're getting at least 3 to 4 innings of Boston bullpen, which is kind of what I'm relying on for the Rays to be able to just smash. Also, Boston struggles when they head into Tampa Bay for whatever reason. I think they're like 2-7 the last 9 games in the Trop. The Rays, they're just hot right now. This is a Rays team I'm looking to back down the stretch. I think that they have a chance to catch the Yankees to win that division. So this is a spot here where I am going to side with the Rays. I took them on the minus 1 line at plus 144. I think that this is a game where they take control and they beat up on a much lower team in the Red Sox here. So these are some of those games where if you're the Rays, you have to win these games. This is one of those where you have to beat up on a last place Red Sox team. So I took the Rays, laid the minus 1 on them here at plus 144.
Yeah, well, hearing you say last place Red Sox, I'm like, oh yeah, they are in last place. You kind of forget in that division with how stacked it is. But moving on along to the next game, we have the White Sox and the red-hot Seattle Mariners. You can find the White Sox minus 118 to minus 125. The Mariners plus 100 to plus 105 right across the board. 7.5 in this one. Kind of like the Boston game, another half unit play, so a smaller play for me in this one. But I'm sticking with this red hot Mariners team. They have been winning me money. They've been winning games, finding ways to win games, even in tough situations. And now they obviously have the White Sox, who are good against lefties. Will be going against Gonzalez. Lynn, who started the year off really bad for the White Sox, has rebounded here in his recent starts. Gonzalez hasn't looked bad in his last 3 starts either. So I think I'm going to have to stick with the hotter team in the Mariners at plus money. Definitely not my favorite play of the day, but I think the Mariners, they've been winning me money, so I'm not going to jump off this train, not yet. Nick, White Sox, Mariners, what do you think here?
Well, I guess we're going against each other again. I bet this last night though, and this line moved a lot. I saw this play, and I actually made this bet during, I think it was the 11th inning of that game between the Mariners and the Guardians last night. I took the White Sox. I got them at minus 102. You can now get them up, get them for like minus 120 or something like that. I think the line's moved almost 20 cents in my favor with the White Sox. And this is a White Sox team that, looking at what they've done recently, yeah, they lost yesterday. Giolito pitched pretty well yesterday, all things considered. He made one mistake in the 5th inning, and that was about it. And this is a different Lance Lynn. He's been pitching much better as of late. And looking at what Lance Lynn has done as of late, he's only given up 2 or fewer runs in 5 of his last 6 starts. He gave up 1 to Kansas City. He 4 to Kansas City was his worst start, and that was in recent times. That was August 9th. Since then, 2 earned runs, 1 earned run, 1 earned run, 1 earned run, and he's gone 6, 6, 6, 5 2/3, 6 and 7. So he's been the bulldog. He's been really performing. And one thing I've also picked up on this White Sox team was yesterday was the first time they lost since Tony La Russa went on his medical leave or whatever they want to call it. He went out on August 31st, and since then they had won 4 straight games, and then they came up short yesterday. So this is a White Sox spot for me. Not to mention this Mariners team. They just played probably the longest game of the season with, I believe, a 4.5 hour rain delay, and then extra innings on top of that. And then they had to travel all the way back home to Seattle from Cleveland. This is a terrible spot for Seattle in a situational standpoint as well. There's a reason why this line has moved towards the White Sox. I took them full game at minus 105 or minus 102. I think there's a great spot for the White Sox, and I think they've turned it around a little bit. They've looked like a better team since La Russa had took his leave. I think he was really holding them back this year.
All right. We'll agree to disagree on the White Sox. I know a lot of people are still high on this White Sox team and have definitely said the word injuries when describing their season. But I'm not high on this team. I still think they finished 3rd.
They're only 2 games out, which is crazy. Yeah, at 67 and 67, they're 2 games out. That's how bad that division is.
But they've been a few games out for a long time now and have yet to
we'll see.
Make up the difference. So I think that continues, and the Mariners will win this game. But we'll see what happens. Going on, use BetStamp. Use code WILD when signing up. Follow me there at Let's Go Wild Picks. Find the best odds for whatever you are betting. And also find picks that are not available but are available late. I just found that my favorite play of the day, which is actually happening in the next game, which has not been available all day, is now finally available in one spot, which means it's going to open up at other spots, which is awesome news. Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros here. You can find Texas plus 135 to plus 150. You can find the Astros minus 160 to minus 178. 8s across the board here. And this one, one of the first things that I noticed here when I took a look at the Astros starter today, Hunter Brown, a rookie making his debut, is that he is a strikeout pitcher. In 106 innings pitched in the minors this year, he has 134 strikeouts. So he is definitely averaging more than a strikeout per inning in the games in the minors. And I don't think that stops here against this Texas team, who's floundering. They're I don't want to say they've given up, but they've been losing, and it doesn't really seem to be stopping anytime soon. When you look at the pitchers in this matchup for Texas, really interesting here. Sorry, one second. The first two starts of the year for Perez were lights out starts against Houston, where he allowed, I think, 1 earned run and 0 earned runs in the first two starts of the year. But in his last two starts of the year against this Houston team, they've been pretty ugly. So his first game, he went 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. In his second game against Houston, 9 innings, 8 hits, no earned runs. But in his most recent two, he in the month of August, 5 innings, 6 hits, 7 earned runs, and 5 innings, 9 hits, and 5 earned runs. So the magic that Perez had earlier on in the year seems to have been disappearing a bit. So I also like Houston money line. I have Houston money line in a parlay with the Blue Jays game 1 money line. So Houston money line, definitely a good parlay piece. I know we don't do parlay piece anymore on the show, but Houston money line is definitely a good one. I'm not scared of the rookie here. I think Houston takes care of business, and I think Brown gets over 4.5 strikeouts, which is plus 100. So I have not bet it yet because I'm waiting for it to be available at my book. But if it's 4.5 at plus money, take it. I think the rookie will do good in his debut against a perfect team to have your debut against. Nick, I know you don't have any plays in this game. Any thoughts here, Rangers and Astros?
Complete pass. This is one of those games where I saw a brand new pitcher coming in. I looked at him a little bit. He's been in AAA, so he didn't really catch my attention too much here. This was one of those games where it's just an easy pass for me. So if I had to get to a spot in this game, I think maybe they priced this game right. Maybe. And maybe the Astros should be this big of a favorite. Maybe that's the book's telling us that this Hunter Green guy, Hunter Brown, my bad, is pretty good. So I guess I would lean towards maybe taking the run line with the Astros, but this was probably one of the easiest passes on the slate.
All right, the easiest pass for you, my favorite game of the day. I guess that's how it works. But we'll move on along to my second favorite game of the day, and that is the Giants and the LA Dodgers here. Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants against Heaney for the Dodgers. You can currently find the Giants plus 180 to plus 194. Dodgers minus 215 to minus 235. 8s and a couple 8.5s available in this one. Dodgers run line plus 100. It's a pretty simple explanation. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. Obviously, there are times where they will not cover the run line and where they do lose games. But for the most part, against a team like the Giants, who they played pretty well this year, I'm going to back the Dodgers minus 1.5 at plus 100. Nick, Giants, Dodgers, what do you think in this one?
Yeah, not a game I got to personally, but all of a sudden this Giants team, after losing 7 straight games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 straight games, out of nowhere swept the Phillies. All of a sudden they're playing better baseball. And am I looking to play this game? Am I looking to bet this game? Not really. It's a dog or pass spot for me in this one. We have the LA Dodgers coming in off of Sunday Night Baseball, which generally is something I would look to fade. I think Logan Webb has the pitching advantage in this one over Andrew Heaney. Logan Webb's been pretty good this year, and I would probably lean towards taking him here. And the Giants, maybe first 5. You can probably get a good number for that, either first 5 or first 5 plus the half a run. I can easily see this being a tie game at the end of 5 innings. You can get plus 155 for the first 5 money line or plus 105 for the first 5. plus a half. That would be my lean in this game, but I did not get involved.
All right. Yeah, Webb has lost his last 3 starts, but actually didn't give up any earned runs in his last 2 starts. The runs were unearned against Detroit and San Diego. But in the previous game against this Dodgers team this month, 8 hits, 6 earned runs against Webb for the Dodgers. So we'll see what happens in this one. Moving on along, follow Nick and Tim at ESB. Follow Dave at Picks from Dave. Both of their links to their YouTube channels are in the description below. So make sure to give them a follow. So far, me and Nick have disagreed on everything. We'll see if there's something we agree on in last pitch. Going on to the rest of the slate. For me, the Toronto and Baltimore game 2, Jose Barrios against Jordan Lyles. Haven't bet anything yet. Obviously, we'll have to see how game 2 finishes and go from there. But I'm looking at the over 8.5 in this one. Barrios on the road gives up runs, but the Blue Jays find a way to win on the most part. So I'll look for the sweep if the Jays are able to win the first game here. I may back the Jays as a side as well as the over. Maybe the Jays team total again. We'll have to see. Brewers Rockies, Hauser against Feltner. It's Coors Field. Both pitchers have a big ERA. So maybe a lean to the over, but also another lean with looking at the Rockies. I was looking at backing the Rockies as a side, but just didn't get to it. It became a pass for me. Nationals Cardinals, Anibal Sanchez against Jack Flaherty. Flaherty, one of my favorite pitchers to back. He is coming off injury. Anibal Sanchez has looked like a different pitcher as of late, but it's still the Nationals against the Cardinals. Nationals coming off 2 wins against the Mets, but I think the Cardinals will take care of business in this one. So I will back Flaherty and the Cardinals on the money line, parlayed with another team, which is the Dodgers. Going on along, no real opinion in the Diamondbacks Padres game. Another rookie pitching for the Diamondbacks here. Blake Snell can be really good in his last start and have clunkers, but I'm not going to try to guess what happens here. Guardians, Royals, McKenzie against Singer. I was going to look at backing Singer, but decided to stay off here. I don't like getting involved against or for McKenzie because he seems to screw around with me. So ultimately a pass. And then the Tigers-Angels game. Another pass. I honestly didn't really look at it too much with other games in the slate. That was kind of my auto pass. But Nick, what do you think here with the rest of the baseball slate?
Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3 plays we didn't go over during the 4 plays we didn't go over during the show. The first one, I took the Milwaukee Brewers -1 at -109. Looking for them to just beat up on Feltner a little bit there. If you like any side on that Rockies game, one thing I will say is take a -1 or a -1.5 on either side, whether it is the Brewers or the Rockies. Because one thing that you can learn about Coors is with those high totals, especially like if you see a game with a total of like 10 or higher, no matter if you like the dog or the favorite, take a -1 or a -1.5 because the high totals show that there should be high variance in that game. High scoring means a better chance at a multi-run game. So Brewers -1 at -109. Anibal Sanchez and Jack Flaherty, both pitchers. My numbers suggest that they should get hit. Jack Flaherty has pitched a couple of times this year and has not looked like Jack Flaherty. I think the Nationals can get a few runs off of him, and then the Cardinals can get some runs off of Anibal Sanchez. So I got over 8.5 at even money, looking for some runs in that game. Arizona first 5 plus a half a run at +125. Wake up and fade the Padres. And I think the Diamondbacks are one of those teams that are going to play spoiler down the stretch. They've actually had a pretty decent season, all things considered, winning, I think, 52 games last year. They've already well surpassed that this year. So look for the Diamondbacks to compete a little bit. And then Cleveland, Kansas City, first 5 under 3.5 was the last play I got to on this slate, under 3.5 even money. Brady Singer, Tristan McKenzie, look for both those guys to go out and shove. So that's kind of where I landed on today's slate. Not too many games.
Thanks, Richie. Much appreciated. And the CFL, did you get anything to the second game?
Yeah, we have the Battle of Alberta with Edmonton and Calgary tonight. I did taking the points with Edmonton at plus 12.5. They do play a little bit better on the road than they do at home covering spreads. And when you look at this matchup, a Battle of Alberta, the underdog is actually covered, I believe, in 10 of the last 12 games. So I expect a closer game here. I think that the Elks can also put up some points. I got over 49.5. Kind of like a slight hedge if the Calgary Stampeders are to cover the spread, that game is going to go over 49.5. So kind of, I think that at the very worst, I'm going to split between the plus 12.5 and the over 49.5. So Elks plus 12.5 and the over 49.5 for me.
All right. And we will move on along to the best bet segment. And we will start with over under. For me, as of this moment right now, no total. I do like the over 8.5 in the Jays and Baltimore Orioles game 2, but I want to see how this game finishes first and lineups before I give that out. So I'm not going to give it as an over under because I haven't officially bet it yet. So it's just a lean. Nick, you are going to college football and taking Clemson, and is that Georgia Tech?
Georgia Tech.
Under 52. Tim is going with Texas, Houston, over 8. And Ryan is going with Boston, a team total over 3.5. Going on along to dog of the day. For me, it is the Seattle Mariners, and the money line and price for that, I think it's plus 105. For Nick, you're going with the Arizona Diamondbacks, plus 208.
Big stab here, yeah. Wake up and fade the Padres. That's the way it is.
There you go. And Tim and Ryan both agree on the Kansas City Royals for their dog of the day. And going on to best bets, I want to take Hunter Brown's strikeout prop as my best bet. But with all the weather concerns that there are today, I don't want to have him go in 2 innings and then possibly get rained out. So there's lots of weather issues today. So I'm going to stick with the Dodgers run line instead of a strikeout prop. But I really do like that Brown strikeout prop. But my best bet will be Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 100. Nick, you're also going with a run line, taking the Chicago White Sox minus 1.5 in this one. Tim is also going to that game, and he's taking the White Sox Seattle Mariners over 7.5. And Ryan is also on the White Sox money line. That's his best bet. And that is today's show. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. We appreciate all the support. Check out the New York Islanders preview show. Nick's favorite team will be going over the Islanders in approximately half hour. And make sure to tune in on Wednesday for our first NFL show, where we will go over all 16 games in week 1 in the NFL. So make sure to tune into that Wednesday night, most likely 6 p.m. Stay tuned tomorrow for the showtime, but most likely 6 p.m. Eastern. But that is it. That is the show. Best of luck on your bets tonight, and we'll see you again. Have a good one, guys.